You ready?
Okay, where's Jit? Where's Jit? Yeah. Hijack him.
You lost it! Jit, are you a major investor?
You should replace the him with Jit. 50% his face.
Okay. Ready? Jonathan, ready?
Yeah.
All right. Give it up for JabberJit.
你好吗？
好。
大家好，我是 Rizal。可以给我们赞成鼓励鼓励吗？ Hi, I want to start to talk about JabberJit. It's basically like a platform to actually change the way people learn Mandarin. Through just-in-time learning, where it is based on contextual learning, where you are and what you need to get done. So in the gist, what JabberJit is basically it gives you a predicative kind of conversation development to prompt you the right phrases, a conversation starter of sorts. This crowdsourced, so basically it builds a pool of phrases and translation that you can actually get from it, and it also have an audio feed to practice all the tones that you have all in Chinese itself. So let me start off. I'm not going to pitch to you our product. What we're going to take you through is our learning journey and what we do along the way. So I'll start off with who we are, and Gavin will actually speak to you more about it.
Yeah, so we start off believing that that the leaderless organization exists, but it's actually bullshit. It doesn't exist at all. We feel that we still need leaders. So the leader behind this group was actually Eric, who is the mastermind. So how we came about was we wanted to create the ultimate starfish. So we look using our SDI index as a guide. Each of us fell into different territories, and then coming together, we were stronger as one. Like Captain Planet, right? So I'm Gavin, the red guy. Natasha, bordering on green. Rachel, super analytical, the scientist. Eric, the mastermind, architect, the blue. And Rizal, the hub. Right? So then we came together, and then we started on our journey. Right? And then the first thing we did was how should we communicate? So we started using WhatsApp, and then using Slack, using email, SMS, and none of them worked because we were so excited that we started sharing a lot of rubbish. Then we were trying to find a way, the best way to communicate our vision and our learnings together. So Rizal, I'll take you through the journey.
So our whole startup journey was a mess actually. Startup is a mess, I feel. So to articulate this, we iterate. But to just bring it down to this presentation, we divided into experiments or observations, and then we do some learnings and how we actually move our next step. In an ideal world, in terms of our walnut model, we intend to actually build up content as we go, as higher as we go, through a series of hows actually along the way. But what really went down was a ball of yarn. It was a huge ball of mess we started to pull out. Sometimes the string itself is not connected, you see. And sometimes you have a string that is actually connected. So it's like a huge mess, but this is roughly how we actually gauge our walnut itself. We started off early, we were so passionate, we did a lot of stuff, we built a lot of content, but then we got like confused. What are we doing? And then during the end, if you can see, the experiments that we did grow bigger because we somehow found our sweet spot, which I will share with you. So we started out with this big vision of change the way people travel. This was actually through one of our classes in Hyper Island where we actually shared our passion points. So we believe that if people learn new experiences when they travel, then they will be more empowered with their careers. So we actually put our passion points into the whole thing. So the first thing we did, the first experiment, we went out with street interviews. We just went on the streets. Well, people don't really want to learn when they travel. They just wanted to rest and relax. So here's the main observation that we have.
And we found that actually travel was mainly meant for leisure. When you go to travel, when you switch off, you don't want to be absorbing anything, you just want to kick back and just relax. And then we also felt that while we were very obsessed with travel, something kept coming up, which is learning. Why are we trying to force feed learning into this travel thing? So we found that maybe learning is our next theme park vision that we want to venture into. And we also learned that at this point, it doesn't matter why we exist or our purpose, the grand purpose. What was more important is how we're going to achieve this purpose as we went along this journey. So the key learning point at this point was we need to align with a shared vision, communicate, don't clutter. Like we were sharing lots of links on WhatsApp and everything got drowned out. And then also ultimately to don't stress. This was something that they kept telling me. Trust the process and enjoy the journey. So I was the guy that's kicking ass. Like, come on.
Yeah, I remember Gavin super red.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we kind of like, I'm not sure these people, we don't have jargons to explain our stuff. So basically we're going to just explain how we actually went through the journey and learned. So we actually changed the whole thing to change the way people learn. That was our main focus. And then we went out to create more experiments. We did our initial market research. Well, technically people are really hungry to learn. We did kind of growth hacking. Like, we were so eager, we started off a landing page and we didn't have any success criteria, but we had 7 sign-ups for 1 month, which is quite bad actually. But they were curious, but it was so big, like you change the way you learn. You have no idea what it is. And we did something interesting actually. We wanted to see which segment actually learn most. We actually targeted C-suites, managers, executives and fresh grads with a series of Facebook ads to just see what's the most number of clicks on which. Well, people were generally curious, but they weren't really engaged to find out more. Maybe the proposition itself was vague. We interviewed people who actually learned something recently to find out a bit of their pain points, something like that. But there wasn't any real problem because they will find a way to actually learn if they want to. So, with that observation,
We found that with great vision comes great clarity. So we were working so hard to find that common vision, and I think we found it. We found the big vision, change the way people learn. But then we realized that learning how to bake, to cycle, to play the guitar, to whatever is so different. So what does it mean for different types of learning activities and learning journeys? So that was the thing that came up for us now. What exactly you want to focus on?
and so, we were down to gut feel and drawn by beauty actually. Let me explain. So based on Eric's earlier research, one of the things that people actually want to learn is language. Language is a big key part of what people want to learn. But I also quickly add my voice because my current partner now is Chinese. I shared with the team my frustration communicating with my Chinese girlfriend. So generally we said, why don't we actually go narrow and deep? So with that, our learning points are...
So we found that it's better to go narrow. And then, so one of the lead startup founders told us, what are you trying to help people learn? So we felt like, okay, we need to scale down and narrow down to one specific area and one subject. So we felt that, and that's also something that we could identify with because result also had the same problem. So this time we want to go narrow and trust our gut and something that we felt very close to our hearts.
So we found a breakthrough. A kind of breakthrough. So we come out and define a bit of our vision, change the way people learn Mandarin itself. So in terms of the opportunities, why Mandarin? Elaborate?
Yeah, sure. So, given that one of our founder had that same problem wanting to learn Mandarin, and we went to size out, so what is the opportunity, what is the market size? So we did a bit of research and we found that Chinese is the most widely used language in the world, and it's also the 3rd most popularly learned language in the world. So to be precise, our market size is 30 million learners.
Heck, they even have like rappers who like sing about learning Mandarin, you know, like which is not playing right now.
Oh.
Sorry, don't have your video.
Yeah,
But she
go
really
learn
want-
Chinese! That's the video.
Go Rachel.
That's my favorite part of the present.
Don't say
Yeah,
that.
that's why
Oh, Jeff,
your video made my citation.
Can I escape?
Sing live.
no, don't jam.
Escape. Yeah.
So, eh?
His finger moved.
Okay, let me delete the video first.
This too big.
I think I'll find it probably.
没问题。
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been very good teachers to read, so.
有问题。
Okay.
Just go straight to the next. 小问题。
完蛋。
Okay, so we wanted to really find out how are people thinking about learning Chinese and really want to find out a bit more. So I did a call out actually on my Facebook and for my own Facebook feed to actually get 23 people to actually like my post is actually quite big for me. So actually people were really keen on learning Mandarin and they are willing to participate for more effective solution. So with that I got about 8 and then we distributed among the group and basically interviewed them to find more. So after actually interviewing them, we found that people are motivated to learn Mandarin but they never actually commit any money to it. They want to learn a language, but when I ask what's the last thing you did to learn anything else, like not really. Like I check on YouTube, but there weren't really any commitment. So like it was a bit of a struggle for us to find whether they really need that problem, whether there's a big problem on that. So the observation is.
So we felt that people who claim they want to learn Mandarin versus someone who is actually already learning Mandarin were two different, very, very different groups. Right? I want to do this, but actually doing this are two different things. So this was a very, very big learning for us, which led us to one of the learning points was follow the money. So whoever is committing the money there, then we should go after those cookie monsters instead of the bigger cookie monster who is claiming to want this cookie but not actually committing for it. So this helped us to understand how we should, again, from the bigger scope all the way to much, much, much smaller scope.
And then we found our sweet spot. So it was a breakthrough somewhat in terms of our discussion. We wanted to change the way people learn Mandarin, but actually the learners that are already learning Mandarin, we realized that learning language, the main problem is they need to practice after that. So you can get an opportunity for them to practice. So learners stop learning Mandarin after class when they actually initially sign up for it, as they lack opportunities to practice or they don't want to practice. So we believe that if Mandarin learners can find the right people or the right environment to practice, they are able to learn Mandarin faster. So we did an experiment out. We actually went out to language school because we don't have much language friends that actually learn Mandarin currently. So we went out to language school because we feel that our cookie monsters are there. So we went out there, we asked what are their pain points towards learning Mandarin. Most of them start off learning Mandarin to a language school. That's the first point. But they know they need to converse in Mandarin after they learn to actually be better at conversing. So our observations are.
By identifying those who are already taking Mandarin classes, this was our cookie monster. And then we heard from them that they are actually missing a lot of tools. Well, there's a lot of options out there, apps, communities that teach you and find new people to speak with, right? It also led us to an insight that this is actually a very big problem. You go to class once a week, the teacher tells you what you need to learn today, okay, you go home, and then it's all up to you to go and practice by yourself. So learning by doing helps you master the language much better and faster. Right? So this key learning here was, it wasn't wrong to trust our gut. So we have one big vision, and then we identified with one common vision that our founder identified with, and we started to be very, very curious about diving deeper and uncovering even more insights as we went along to understand the customer.
So based on the interview, we somehow set a few kind of solution testing with those people that actually are learning Mandarin. So what we derived was, actually there's three main things that actually stood out. People want to make it simple because Mandarin is quite hard. People want to make it convenient because they with their busy work schedules and all. And people want to make it conversational. So these are three features. We want to test these features and basically see what's the most that appeals to them. And guess what? Actually, people really want to converse in Mandarin and make it conversational as a practice after that. So to converse is actually the first step. So the observations are.
That is true. That being able to converse effectively is most desired. People took Mandarin classes to first and foremost to learn how to speak and converse with people. And the best way to do that is speaking with people. So practice will actually make you better and master the language much faster and easier. Right? And this was very interesting learning for us is, rather than keep asking them, what's the problem, we felt that let's give them different cookies to try and see which ones they react to the most. And we found that they like to eat the conversational cookie the most. So that was the cookie we wanted to bake.
And things snowball from now on because this is when our process actually got a bit more focused. Yeah. So we wanted to start our own MVP based on that solution feature that we first tested out. So we somewhat did the whole double diamond thing. We had a few ideas that was thrown out, but there was two main streams that we wanted to make the learnings based on context, and the other learning was we wanted to make it based on practicing with people. So but we shortlisted actually two. Our first MVP was inspired by the Cards Against Humanity because all text. So if there's a way where you can create a kind of card game where they can actually practice speaking Mandarin while they play the game, then it could help them. The second one, which was still vague, if you could scan an environment, like they know I'm doing a presentation right now, they will feed you phrases and basically prompt you to say like, Ni hao ma, how are you? And so basically, it was still vague at that point of time, but we wanted to test these two MVPs itself. We wanted to test with someone who really keen to learn Mandarin and our subject expert, Guan Fang. So both of them said that the game was a bit childish for people who are serious learners who actually want to learn Mandarin. but they feel the appeal would be more towards the contextual learning based kind of MVP. With that, we actually proceed with that MVP 2 to create somewhat of a mobile app prototype to test on them. So this prototype we tested with 3 other individuals. They find it helpful to learn in everyday activities. They love the idea that it's location based, and another insight was interesting was it is an opportunity to market to tourists actually. So we see a huge potential market there, and most of them are willing to pay to almost about $3, but will scale up to $10. Okay. So the observation is,
So yeah, acid down. Absolutely super simple. So we instead of adding lots and lots of functions, we like, what is this one single function they would appeal to and they want to, and let them tell us what else they want to add to it. So we kept very simple and easy to use. So anchor with one value proposition, and it's all about just in time versus just in case.
so we went Kanban from here onwards because previously we realized that we're going with the whole waterfall method and then it was damn slow. So what is Jabber what? So we came up with a few names, Dada, Didi, Dudu, Yak Yak, Bieber, Ching, Chong, Yak Yak. Obviously, our core idea is just in time. So
I think
hence
our
we-
favorite one's the first one. Can you do it?
Didi daddy do.
So since the basis of it is just in time learning, so we wanted to put it in our name, so we had JabberJit. So
And JIT to answer you is just in time. JIT.
So after that we actually go on snowball effect and we did some growth hacking along the way.
Yeah, so similar to question, this time around we actually went on to build a landing page. Our goal was to get sign-ups as an indication to validate there was a demand for our solution. And we set ourselves very specific goals. Given that we have limited resources, limited time, we actually launched the site on 28 June and we told ourselves by 1st July we need to round out the results for presentation. So that was 4 days. We set ourselves the minimal 12 sign-ups and we set ourselves like ideal would be like say 20. So at the end of the experiment, we actually exceeded our expectations, which we'll share with you the results later on. So everything we do was directed to the sign up for early access demo. So we set out our presence on social media. So there was Facebook, Twitter. I think you guys all seen that, right? I've been spamming kind of, and we actually look into engaging with the interest groups. So there are actually active learners out there like Learn Mandarin, Learn Chinese, these very niche groups that are very engaged with the content we are pushing out. So even the kind of content we push out, we were even doing A/B testing, and we realized that they are keen to actually reply to us. They were really enthusiastic, and it's all because we are not hard selling our products, but we're providing value to them. So we even Eric even do like parody videos using Mandarin and all. That was dish up. Yeah, this is one of it. Can't play again. Yeah, but anyway, it's quite vulgar, so good that it can't play. Aside from that, we also hijack conversations. So we actually did monitoring of keywords like Learn Mandarin, Learn Chinese on Twitter, and we actually promote our product to them, and that gotten people following us organically and favoriting our tweets. So we treat that as a...
Okay, so our final experiment was the demo, which the slide is supposed to come up with, but I'll let Eric show you the demo itself.
So for our demo, we actually set in 3 situations. We see that's how it could be potentially pushed out for business opportunities. So leisure at cafe, business environment, as well as...
so you can see on the screen on the monitor itself. So if you go to the cafe itself, right, you will say I want to order coffee. You just say that what's your EP cafe. So when it goes to events, you meet Jacobs. So what you will see that you'll switch to a message.
Internet problem.
Technology.
Yeah, so 杰克你好，很高兴认识你。So yeah, so you can see that in different kind of context itself, right, it will be response to different kind of language learning. Yeah.
So maybe I skipped this just now earlier. When we found our sweet spot is, we had this idea was still vague when we wanted to look at contextual learning, but Eric came up with something that we can actually base the parameters based on geolocation, time, and that was the 2 main bases, but I think there would be more if you want to explore other features itself. So our main observation is,
Focus on energy on building more demand before actually building it. So a lot of efforts were like getting people to want it, to sign up, and to acknowledge it. So the key learning point is if you build it, they will not necessarily come. So we need to spend our efforts to get the demand and get the attention.
So what's next for us? So in a nutshell, this is a few numbers to explain our whole journey so far.
Yeah, so at the end of the 4 days event itself, right, we got 27 signups. There's no Google search, organic search results based on Rachel's efforts. All came from Facebook and all streamed out from Twitter, YouTube itself. YouTube sucks, we only have 2 views. But for website itself, right, we had 30 average new visitors per day. And eventually we got 27 signups in 4 days itself with 0 marketing dollars.
Rachel?
So what's next? So we really want to do this as a real proper thing. So what's next after this as a school project? We wanted to aim even higher, push our threshold to 500 signups on our website. We were also toiling with the idea of doing the concept video next and do it as a Kickstarter page for funding. And Eric's actually done out the Chrome extension because we kind of want to build an omnipresence. Our prototype, unfortunately we couldn't show the Apple Watch, but we did have the iPhone, the Android, the Apple Watch, as well as a desktop companion, which is the browser extension. And we also want to pitch to trade media with a press release on our idea.
Okay, so this is our roadmap. For the first 3 months, we try to gain a traction of 2,000 demo signups, and then after that, we try to get some seed funding from there, from all the Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and so on. So we'll have also, to make it lean, we'll contract multi-platform developers. So we're looking at about 30K and then server costs and so on. So once that works, and we have this traction, we're looking at the next one will be an angel fund of about 100K. And then in this 1 year, we're hoping to break even about 25,000 users at about $2 to $3 each. And partnership with, just relying on the user on its own won't be enough. So we're thinking of like partnering with tourism board, merchants, education centers, schools, and so on. It will be an ongoing review and reiterate of our product. And then after that, the next phase would be how we can disrupt, thinking of just-in-time learning, how we can expand it. So it might not be just language. It could be something else that we can learn just in time. And
Like the Matrix.
and yeah, that's it. So we'll just keep growing. Yeah. And
Yes, yeah.
Well done.
Very good. I can't not take the opportunity to say this would make a very good advanced project. All right, this is almost too big. All right, so just all of you listening to the size of this would be a very good project. I really liked it. I think it's a great story. You've got you've shown how you made decisions along the way. There's a lot of growth hacking in there, which we like, and you've got an interesting thing to now start to play with. Yeah, the way it was presented was really good. I like that. And this is $1 billion business. All right, you can't set yourself in a situation where you say it's $2 per person. That might be the entry fee, but you've got to make it a situation where you're building up to something like $30 per user, and your 30 million people paying $30 is $1 billion. So we should be, it's a certainly sizable prize if you can make this work nicely. What I want to see next is some competitor analysis. I want to see that you've gone and looked at language learning techniques, you've got all the apps out there, so you've got some sense of what you're up against. But it's a fantastic startup project. Thank you very much.
Any comments? If you have any additional comments?
I think it's really good. Maybe the one more thing that you can add in would be the personas or the target audience that you have. I'm sure every target audience would have a couple of personas at least. And also maybe you can include Chinese speakers like myself who struggle at conference calls with China. Like every time I pick up the phone, my colleagues start laughing, and then my confidence level goes down more, and then I start to stammer. But yeah, people like myself who needs to conduct calls in a very formal manner, I would pay money to kind of like read that app and prepare some script for myself. to fall back on, especially technical languages. Like
The business
I'm sure you have a developer who's doing all these things. How do I talk to you? Like how do I refer to APIs in Mandarin?
API.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And then I had that reaction on the other line. It would benefit so much more corporate people as well. Like maybe different personas and then different tiers of pricing for different kind of languages that you want. And Mandarin itself is such a huge market alone.
Thanks.
Cool. Any additional comments?
I like the idea a lot. I like the way it was presented, and I like the thought process that you guys went through. I think overall, in terms of your costing wise, right, you might want to consider how the subscribers are going to make payment into the portal. Would it be via bank transfer initially, which would be probably zero cost, and then consider scaling up into the payment gateways when you have more subscribers? That would be something to consider.
So can I just build on your feedback about the person?
Or you can say thank you.
Thank you. I want to ask a question. Like, if we divide into personas, right?
Yeah.
How do we then find which persona should we go to then? Because like we had
Yeah.
too big and then we wanted to focus on.
Yeah. So you have the answer, right? You follow the money. So when we started as a marketplace, we always thought that couples are gonna book a nice holiday, romantic holidays and all that. But when we looked at the audience, we realized that the people making transactions for vacation rental, as opposed to what I thought would be like young millennial couples booking, they're more adventurous, they want to go the alternate accommodation route. But we realized that people who are booking are more typically 35-year-old women. They're the ones who make holiday plans for families. And then we realized that when you book for a family, you tend to go away for a longer length of stay, and you book a bigger place, then our margins are higher. And that's how we start to divide the personas. It may not be the first step to do. It could be opening up your platform first and then taking a look at who your audience are and try to develop another few personas with different product offerings for each family.
Thank you.
Okay, a quick one. Joanna.
I absolutely loved it. The one thing I'd say is, when you guys did the timeline at the end, you said a year from now you're looking at expanding. That's really sexy to investors, I think. But visualize that. So the same way Uber does parcels now, you guys can apply this to more than languages. So JabberJit can eventually become JIT. Visualize that in some way, right? Whether it's JabberJit or I'm sorry. No, but you know what I mean, TechJit or something else. And if you visualize that for them, then they see the billion. It's more than Mandarin, it's more than languages. It's instruction just in time, and that and then it becomes a modality, which is so much more lucrative, in the way of using it. So if you visualize that at the end instead of just timeline form, when you walk into investment meetings, the money just rolls into. You'll see the pupils change, the dollar signs. And I think that last message.
JabberJit. My comment is, I love how you structured the presentation. It had everything that was in the project booklet, but you bubbled the stuff to the top. So there was no stress to me saying, yeah, but what is it? What is it? Like you sort of nailed it, and then but let us tell you how we got there. So from the structure point of view, I think it was a really well planned presentation. So well done. And again, like the previous group, you did lots of stuff. Took the opportunity to sort of try different things and sort of figure out what works. So well done. Okay.